Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Herders. My name is Nick.
I'm Rich.
And today we are Pokemon going.
Yep.
Pokegoing.
Yep. I think I'm just going to play this whole time.
Alright, go ahead.
Yeah.
Good luck finding something in this house.
You never know. I'll just put an incense.
You could do that. That would help me out too.
I did that the other day. I was laying at home. It was late at night. And I was like, I don't really want to go anywhere. And I just put an incense on.
See, but that's when you're going to end up spending money.
Found a Magikarp on my bed.
Oh, just
flopping on my bed.
Yeah, I haven't done that in my house. I have used incense in other areas, but there's nothing but rat-a-tatas and raticates around here, and Pidgeys.
I'm so sick of those.
All right, so anyway, so Pokemon Go is the game that is sweeping the world.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, there are people walking around like this, and that's really cool. So we talked about the news surrounding this game.
Yeah.
All of the things, the positive effects to Nintendo and blah, 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 and all of that. So check that out. If you missed it, it was on Monday. But today we're going to talk about our own personal thoughts on the game. Now that we've played it for, roughly a week. Actually a week.
Almost a week.
A week.
Almost.
Yeah, it was last Wednesday.
Wednesday at like mid.
So roughly a week.
11 o'clock.
Anyway, we're going to give our thoughts on that. So why don't you begin?
I really like it. I'm glad the servers are mostly working now. Yes. That was, I even tweeted something about this. That was my big fear right from the get-go, is I really hope that the servers don't kill this game before it has a chance to get off the ground.
And I don't think they did.
No, it absolutely did not. But that was kind of a big fear. It's like, wow, I can't get on. Everyone, and I'm seeing more and more people be like, I can't get on, what's going on, blah, 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 blah. But then there were still plenty of people who were playing. But I just love how big this has gotten. I don't remember the last time.
There is no other time.
We've had, maybe since Pokemon Red and Blue came out, or the card game came out.
But see, the thing with that is, Pokemon has been big for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay? But when Pokemon Red and Blue came out, yes, every kid in your school was addicted to this, but it wasn't getting the random freaking people, the older people that were just down, I want to play the free Pokemon game. It wasn't getting, nobody was buying a Game Boy. Not the masses weren't doing this to play that game. This is unparalleled. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I made a comment. It took our parents 5+ years to find out Facebook was a thing, and it took the entire world 5 hours to download this game.
Yeah.
There's no equivalent. I literally can't think. I remember the stories of, Furbies being impossible to find. And stuff like that. But,
and we've had a lot of toy crazes and stuff like that, but I don't even know if this is...
Nothing
comes
close to at least what we've had in the last week. So, then the question that maybe we can get to in a little bit is, how much longer will those people who would have never been interested in this stay on?
Will this be like the Wii craze, where everybody jumps on board, and then all the people who got it as like, oh, it's this fun novelty, just slowly start to put them aside?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that part right now. How long do I think people will be playing this? I think for some time.
Yeah.
Because I think that they're being smart. They didn't put everything in it first. They didn't put friend battling in it first. They didn't put trading in it first. They didn't put anything but those original... not even all 150 are in the game to start. If you look at the Pokédex, there's 146, and I think there's going to be events for the other ones.
Yeah. Well, I saw some article today about someone finding, the 3 legendary birds, in the code.
Right. Yeah,
which we all knew that was
going to happen. That's why they made the 3 teams, those 3 colors. We know that Mewtwo, even though he's 151 or whatever, we know Mewtwo's going to be in it because
Mew is 151.
Okay.
Mewtwo is 150.
Sure.
Get your Pokemon right, man.
Yeah. But we know he's in the game, right? Because the original commercial was everybody.
Yeah, that was the huge climax of that commercial was everybody trying to capture Mewtwo.
So we know that stuff's coming, but they're doing it very smart. They're doing it in waves to keep people interested. I think that they're gonna, eventually add the other generation slowly. I would assume.
Yeah.
And all of that is really smart to keep people coming back. But I think what could hurt it would have been the server issues. Hopefully they're getting that figured out. It seems like they are. I think that what will continue to hurt it is people not being sick of only being able to catch Pidgeys and Rattatas, because that is the bulk of what you find, right?
Sure.
I think that at a certain, like even today, there were times when I was walking around campus and I'd be like, I don't even want to try and catch that.
Yeah,
Pidgey
like,
right now.
I've stopped trying to catch like some of those.
I don't, because I want the XP, and then.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about our characters, about our stats, about what we're at, what we have.
You're going to be a lot higher than I am.
So go ahead.
I have before it's still loading, but I have noticed. It's really loud. I'm so sick of that. I still love that music, but at the same time, I'm like that.
I shut the sound off the first day.
I have noticed more and more other Pokemon starting to like be scattered in. Like I'll look at my nearby stuff,
but like,
and I'm like, okay, like there was Tentacools, the first one, right? Mm-hmm. I saw a couple of those and like a Horsey, like just kind of scattered in the mix.
Yeah, they'll be out and about. I mean, right now there is a Horsey, right, somewhere nearby, which is one that I actually don't have yet. So I'm thinking about leaving. I'll be right back. But for the most part, other than that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's really close.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Do you have it yet? Yeah, neither of us
do.
Why don't we pause here and go find it?
We could.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to?
And we got it.
Yep.
Just like that. It was right outside the door. And so that's kind of what, that's like the world that we live in. Like this morning, I woke up and like you said, like every once in a while there is a decent Pokemon, right? So this morning, within the 3 steps, there was a Pikachu, which I hadn't caught yet. And I debated, it was like 5:30 in the morning. I debated running outside, like in my pajamas. And then I was like, well, let me at least brush my teeth, first. And then it was gone.
Like the other day, when I was up at Enzian, there was Jigglypuff or something was nearby. I was like, oh, I don't have that yet. And I'm like in the parking lot trying to get closer, and there's like cars going by, and I'm like trying to stay out of everybody's way.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend's just standing like, what are you...
Is she not playing?
No, she's not. Not yet. I'm trying.
I'm trying with Dana as well. So, anyway, let's keep going on this. So
characters.
Yeah, so anyway, I mean, you can't friend people yet, but of course I'm named Stonks on there. I joined Team Instinct.
Team Valor.
Team Instinct for life. Although every gym I pass by, it seems like my team's just dropping the ball.
Yeah, it's because
there's just red and blue.
Because Team Valor is awesome.
That's fine.
I'm only level 9.
I'm level 16.
It's the benefit of having 2 Pokestops within range of your desk.
It's not a bad number. I've got a 953 Vaporeon that I could evolve, or I could power up more, but I'm saving it to try. I'm saving that candy to do another EV.
Yeah, the highest I have is a 433 Pidgeot. I did catch a 424 Golduck at the town center yesterday.
Nice.
So
when you Golduck, all right. I was gonna say when you evolved them.
But that was really cool. So I went up to the town center, which is like, if you aren't here, it's like a big plaza over by us. And on that side next to the movie theater, there's like 2 Pokestops right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And both of them had incense on it. And as I like pulled up and we were starting over, I could just see everybody just like on their phones. And we were on a Mose, we walked in, and there's like tables of people just sitting there.
Yeah, I've heard stories about bars that are just everybody's playing it.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a friend.
This is a picture of the student union, all 3 in range of each other. Oh, there's not a time of day where there's not incense going off.
That's cool.
It's definitely good being on campus.
A friend of mine who works over at Hourglass, when this first started, he was like, hey, so apparently we're a hot spot, so anyone wants to come out and just come on out and drink and catch Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean that's what we're living in. There's a restaurant on campus called like Sushi Fi or something. It's like the sushi place.
Is that new?
Slightly off campus. Yeah. I think it's new.
Susai.
That place.
Yeah.
I haven't been.
Is that a spot?
It is a spot, and apparently the owner started like right from the start promoted, like, paid money, got all the incense, and constantly is setting off incense and has advertised this, and it's just, there's always people there.
Leah, we're going to.
So that's smart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really smart. Good business tactic.
Well, I've seen that. I saw some sign going on Facebook today. It must have been some pizza place. It was like, show us your level and you get, if you're level 5, you get 10% off. If you're level 20, you get a free 8-inch pizza and like stuff like that.
Super smart. So, I mean, that's kind of the world that we live in right now. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. So one thing I did yesterday after work, I stayed on campus and I got from level 13 to level 16 in 20 minutes.
Jeez.
So then the question is, how do you do that? And so what I did was, again, I caught every Rattata, every Pidgey I could.
Uh-huh.
Saved up all and then I did all the candy, transferred them all.
Yeah.
Caught as many as I could again, and then I did a lucky egg, which doubles your XP. And so then for 30 minutes, and then I just sat there for 30 minutes and evolved every single Pidgey, every single Rattata. I had my Eevee that was ready to go. I waited to evolve that because I knew that it would give me a new Pokemon. I waited to evolve, I think it was, my Abra into the Kadabra until that moment. So in that 30-minute span, I mean, 50,000 XP. That's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
But that's also why right on the first day, there were people by the end of the day that already had like these level 1,000 things. And I think that there are people who spent money on lucky eggs and stuff like that and incense, and they just did that. And But that was the first point where this game really felt like Pokemon to me. Because Pokemon to me is not flying through the game as fast as you can. It's grinding.
Yep.
Going back and forth in the same patch of grass over and over.
Just seems like I know this Pokemon is somewhere in here. I gotta walk these same like 5 steps.
Just to fight and train over and over and over and get your XP up. And that's what that felt like. It was just sitting there, evolve, watch cutscene, evolve, watch cutscene, and ending up with 25 Raticates and all these Pidgeots. And I was like, that's Pokemon. That's how you level. Like, that's how you do it. And the one thing that I really wish this game had more than trading or anything like that, because honestly, Pokemon that's always been an aspect, right? The link table, trading, and all that has always been part of it. Fighting with your friends, but to me, I usually played it on my own. A solo experience.
Yeah,
to me, it was about leveling up your Pokemon, making them better fighters, getting the new moves, and you can't do any of that.
Sure.
You can't, like, once you evolve a Pokemon, the 2 moves it has, they don't change. They don't get any better.
Do they not? They don't like level
power
up
it
with,
up, and the attack does not change.
See, I haven't really noticed.
The attack, not only does the attack not change, like literally the power on the attack doesn't change. And
that's what I meant.
That's really dumb. Like they have to fix that because that's not Pokemon.
Sure.
And that's one thing that frustrates me because, like, I was able to evolve my Machop into a Machoke, and like he wasn't that great. Sure. Like his moves aren't perfect or anything, and then like I immediately, like an hour later, caught a Machop that was 200 CP higher than the one that I just evolved, and I was like, all right. Well,
but see, here's the. There must be something though that's changing it, because then there'd be no difference in fighting a level 1,000.
It's all about the CP. It's all about the amount of health that you have. And there are better moves to have. Like, even if like you have 2 Pokemon that have the 30s, it's like that blue bar that does that move. If you have one that does 25 or 30 and it's the whole full bar, or you have one that has 4 little blue bars that do 25 every time, those little things fill. Those are way more better moves to have. But it's still not quite Pokemon in the way that you fight. I'm not really a fan of the gym battles.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out, because almost every time I've done a gym battle, it's crashed on me.
Yeah, me too.
The one issue I have with it are the candies. Like, I wish the candies were like type specific instead of Pokemon specific. Like, we just went out and caught a Horsey.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I will be able to find a Horsey to be able to evolve it.
Right.
But now if you had water type candy, I could now go, okay, well I've got this many water type candies, I have enough to evolve, or like even the starters. Like I have been lucky, like I started with Squirtle. I have never seen another Squirtle in the wild. I did manage to catch 2 Bulbasaur. I've never seen a Charmander, so like how...
It's interesting, because I started with Bulbasaur, and I've never seen... Actually, I got one in an egg, but but I've never seen one in the wild, and I've gotten 4 Squirtles and a Wartortle.
Wow.
But I wonder if it is like the one you start with, they somehow... But see, it can't be like that.
Because now my starter is like a 13 CP, and I'm catching...
It's useless, right?
Yeah.
The other Bulbasaur I got was like a 200 CP. I transferred my starter.
Yeah.
Like, you would never do that in a game. But that's the other thing. Like, we had heard these things that, like, as you level up, the better Pokemon will start appearing for you and stuff. And
well, I've noticed that.
I don't think that's the case.
Because,
I really don't. Because you are a level, what are you now? 9? I'm a 16. Whatever Pokemon are in this area are the Pokemon that both of us are going to see. It's not it's different.
But I wonder if when they get to us, there'll be a different CP.
Oh,
like, what's the CP of the Horsey that you caught?
They are,
okay.
For sure.
Well, then that's probably what it is. Because, like, the Golduck I caught yesterday was like a 400-something Golduck. But I'm still catching Pidgeys that are 20.
Yeah. Well, I do too, though. On campus, I'll still find... I almost wonder if it's like... The reason you sporadically find something good is because maybe you're the first person to step in that area when that area refreshes, and you're the one that cues what's going to be there. You know what I mean? Maybe that's somehow what affects it, because there are plenty of times walking around campus, I'll find a 450, Pidgey, and there are plenty of times when I still find a 10.
Sure.
And so maybe just somebody who was just starting off happened to cue that area and that load of... Maybe that's how... I don't know how... I would love to know the logistics of how all this stuff works. I'd love to know where they got the friggin' pictures for the Pokestops. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, some of the things, it doesn't make sense
how
they got it.
I'm wondering if some of it comes from, like, their last game. Because their last game, Ingress or whatever, was another GPS...
Right, but, I mean, it wasn't very popular.
No, but I mean, they still put the legwork in to do... But I'm wondering how they... Like, the gazebo behind my building is a Pokestop. I'm like, what...
You know how, like, right around the corner there's a small, like, very small, not like everybody in the community would go to it, like a little dog park.
Yeah.
And it's a Pokestop, or it's a gym. But the picture is not like it's just of... Like the Google, like it's of the welcome sign rules.
Yeah. Well, I saw like
to get like
when I was going through Winter Park, there was like the welcome to Winter Park sign was a Pokestop or a gym or something, and it had a very close-up picture of the sign.
Where are you getting? I would love to know how they got that stuff.
Yeah.
I would clearly. All right. So their first game was help them for this, but clearly that day a year ago or whatever, when there was the Google Maps thing where there was Pokemon everywhere, that had to have somehow been.
That could be.
That was definitely a test for this.
That because could very well be.
Definitely runs on Google
That was
Maps.
more than a year ago.
Yeah, whenever, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But this thing clearly runs on Google Maps. That's why they have the Google login. I'm almost positive. It uses that technology. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of room for growth.
Sure.
I think IGN
and that's
put out
by
the
design
today, right? And they gave it like a 6 or 7.
7, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of room for growth, and I think that's to keep people coming back.
Yeah,
and to keep
totally
this
smart. Don't put everything out at once.
And, one thing, we're running a little long on this, but one thing I do want to bring up, we mentioned this a little bit on Monday, but I love the social aspect of it.
Yeah, incredible.
Like, how many stories I read about, oh yeah, we were out at this Pokestop, we bumped into this other family, and, they were catching Pokemon together, and like, oh, we went out for a walk, and we saw these people, and everyone, was helping each other out, and, oh, what do you have? What team are you on? What are you doing? Like, it's taken the social aspect of Pokemon to a different level.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the way that people, whether it's you'll walk past somebody and you both know that you're playing, it'll be a slight, like, head nod.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Or down to, like, hey, there's, I saw a Wartortle back there and everybody runs. Or, like, there was a time that I heard about at like the UCF library. Somebody found a Pikachu, and like everybody just started screaming. It was going down. Everybody's stampeding to get to this point where there's a fucking Pikachu. But everybody is really working together. And like you said the other day, like families like walking up to other people and
like people just making friends with strangers
on the street.
And this came a day or two after, or a few days after we had quite a number of big tragic events and things happening and device, very, violence and people being separated. And it's amazing how something like this has, there's a lot of people like, oh, there's all this serious stuff going on and you're just playing your Pokemon game on your phone, but it's brought so many people together. Like everyone's sort of, other than the people complaining on the internet about I have better adult things to do than play Pokemon, like has brought strangers and communities and people together for something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really united people in a weird way.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's cool, it's powerful, it's awesome, and I don't think that they expected that.
Sure.
Nintendo and Niantic and all that. But man, they had it on their hands.
Yeah.
And even I've also been really impressed by seeing like there are some people at work who never had played Pokemon, never would play. Like you said, there's a lot of these people who are being the first people to like figure stuff out. Like there was one girl who was like, I don't know what any of these Pokemon are, but did you guys know that if you tap on the Pokeball, if you miss, you get it back? And everybody's like, what? And like she was the first person that she's like, yeah, well, I didn't want to lose it, so I tried. And you get it back, and we're all like, what? And like just stuff like that. It's like, oh man, like that's awesome. That all these different people are like playing it.
And it works because it's a free entry. There's no, I don't have to buy a Game Boy, I don't have to buy a 3DS, I don't have to buy anything else. We already have this phone. It's like, oh, what's this thing everyone's talking about? Let me try it out. Oh, well, this is kind of cute. Oh, look, there's a Pidgey hanging out in my house. Like, things like that. And, we kind of talked about, I think it was the beginning of this about, everybody had, all the kids in school had Game Boys and were playing Pokemon. Well, now all those kids are grown up.
Yes.
And now they're using it, and then they're passing that along to their kids or grown kids or, or parents are like, oh, I remember my kids enjoying this Pokemon thing. What's the big craze?
I can see what it is. And, and the cool thing is, this game will never get as involved and in-depth as the Pokemon handheld games. But the cool thing is, this is kind of like an awesome game of checkers. And for those who want to graduate to chess, that's there.
This is
that gateway. It's going to be really interesting to see. We have Sun and Moon coming out in a few months. If there's for those games always sell well.
Yeah, but will it sell even better?
More bump, or will it do worse? Because everybody has this. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be one or the other. I don't think that's going to sell the same way.
Like, will 3DS suddenly get a boost in sales and everyone's out buying Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
Then they'll have a choice to make if that happens.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's kind of, in some ways, potentially at the end of its legs.
Sure.
And Nintendo will have to figure that out. But it's going to be interesting.
Hey, we just got rid of all of our stock.
All of a sudden, it does seem like Legendary now, hot on the heels of this, is going to purchase the rights to make a Pokemon movie. And clearly all that spurred. Universal has to be fucking thrilled that they're making the Nintendo Park. And if Pokemon wasn't part of the plans, I bet you it is now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
because even if this dies out, this shows the power of Pokemon. I was trying to figure out today, somebody will try and rip this off. Yeah. And I was trying to figure out what could possibly do it, and I can't think of one thing.
I like all the jokes of like Bloodborne Go and
like Dark Souls.
There was something that I remember somebody mentioned that sounded really cool. We're like, oh, you could do this as a Go game. And I'm really mad I can't remember what it was. But it actually sounded like a cool idea.
The only thing that I think could rip it off in a way that people would get excited about their library of characters would be Disney.
Yeah.
Disney ripping something off.
But I don't know what you would do.
Exactly.
Because, that...
It's not the same. Like, it's... The point of the game is what this is. And so it just works so much better than anything else.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what else would... Like, nothing.
No.
It's the only property, and it's genius that they were able to do it, and it's cool.
Congrats to everyone at Niantic and all them for creating this, and... how successful it is. Like, it's awesome.
Now get back to work and make it better.
Yeah. Keep up the good work. But I think that's going to wrap up our discussion for this week. Let us know, again, in the comments below what you guys have thought about Pokemon Go. Send us your best Diglett pictures and favorite pictures at all. What's your highest Pokemon? What team are you? Hashtag Team Valor for life. You can tweet at both of us. I'm on Twitter at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel is on Twitter at OABeer_official, and you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer. We're on Instagram at over_a_beer. YouTube at youtube.com/overabeer. Every Tuesday there, we do our beer reviews, so you can check that out there. And then every Friday on iTunes and soundcloud.com/overabeer, we have the Overbeer podcast, which is a much more off-topic conversational podcast between Nick, Dana, and I, and some other guests along the way, so you can check that out. And then, of course, Orlando Weekly is currently running its Best of Orlando competition. So orlandoweekly.com, you can go over there under local color, best local podcast. If you could go vote for the Overbeer podcast. We're not officially on the ballot, but we can win by write-in, so that's what I'm trying to do. So you can check that out there. But that will wrap things up for today. So until next time, drink up.
Butter me up.